Okay, let us begin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Nerdmotron movie commentary.
Welcome.
What are we watching this time?
Today we are watching the wonderful and/or awful 90s exciting film Richie Rich.
Richie Rich. Yes.
We get to endure and/or enjoy the final step on our pointlessly gimmicky 6 Degrees of Old Gary Old Man.
Yes, indeed.
Which I should probably explain the gimmick, but we have had some technical difficulties. Let's just get the movie started.
Yeah,
and we can go with it from there.
Let's deal with that first.
3, 2, 1, begin. It appears to everything be working okay now.
Great.
Warner Brothers logo.
Bugs Bunny. There he is.
Grabbing a carrot, chewing.
Chompy chomp chomp chomp.
And fading out.
And it should say Warner Brothers presents.
And we're off.
And we're off to the races.
So yes, after that false start, I'll explain my pointless gimmick again, shall I, for anybody who doesn't remember it?
Yeah, you probably should. So we started off with
Lost in Space. Starring Mr. Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
And then he was in The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Starring Milla Jovovich.
Yeah.
Then Milla Jovovich was in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And also in Zoolander, but I needed to have her in 2 film or extra film for the gimmick to work.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to at the end of the episode. From then we went to Zoolander, which she appears in.
Yes.
And then...
Subtitles.
Yes, they're working.
Huzzah.
So here's Mr. Richard Rich, Senior.
Oh, is that the
Master Richie was born. He has a son.
Oh, it's him being born.
Yeah, I can name him after myself.
Yeah.
So yes, we had Zoolander last time, and that's briefly starred Claudia Schiffer.
Yeah.
And she has an appearance in this, which we'll get to, as an exercise instructor.
Yeah.
And so here we are.
Yeah, so it's not so much 6 degrees of separation as it is more like 4 degrees of separation.
Well, we haven't got to we've got 5 films plus a trilogy. So
yeah.
It's at most 5 degrees between the 6 films, I guess.
Yeah.
Or the 6 series.
The wealthiest baby in the world.
Jonathan Hyde. And actually, here's a little hint to the link to the next film.
Yeah.
Jonathan Hyde.
Jonathan Hyde.
He is our link. But this is, of course, Richie Rich, 95 minutes long. Directed by Mr. Donald Petrie.
Yeah.
Never heard of him, had you?
Never, ever heard of him.
Nope. He was apparently an actor in the 70s. He was bit parts in The Waltons, Incredible Hulk, and something called BJ and the Bear, which sounds filthy. Then he moved to directing in 1985. He did some MacGyver, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Mystic Pizza, Miss Congeniality, and Grumpy Old Men, which, according to the trivia, he turned down to do the sequel to this because it was such a flop in the cinemas that he did Grumpy Old Men instead. I think none of the original people came back for that straight-to-video monstrosity, which is often the way of those films.
Is Alan Silvestri doing the music?
It is indeed Alan Silvestri, who I know and love from Flight of the Navigator, specifically. But he did a lot of good music.
Yeah, he's fairly prolific.
Did he do Back to the Future as well? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Possibly?
I feel like he may have done.
I mean, he just does...
I probably could have looked that up, couldn't I?
Fairly generic sort of 90s. Basically, any movie like this from the 90s, he probably did the soundtrack for it.
There we have our first appearance of Richard Rich Jr., but he's not played by Macaulay Culkin. It's played by Rory Culkin. Who
also...
apparently now slightly more successful brother.
who also played the little brother in Home Alone, I believe.
Oh, very possible, yes.
It was definitely one of his brothers.
I love the way that he has like the best kit just to practice like amateur baseball. And here's Macaulay Culkin.
Yes.
Mr. McCulkin. I'll get his name right one day. So anyway, I'll approach my notes here for a bit of interesting backstory.
Yeah.
Richie Rich was based on the comic character of the same name, created by Alfred Harvey and Warren Kremer, Kremer, however you say that. And they're also the creators of Casper the Friendly Ghost, Stumbo the Giant, and a few other sort of individually things that they've done. But they're not hugely famous, but they did these comic strips.
There was always a kind of the rumour / joke that Casper was the ghost of Richie Rich.
Maybe.
But that doesn't
seem impossible.
That was doubt around that was put to rest with the Casper movie, which goes into some detail about how Casper died.
Yeah, there's so many problems with that film that we can't even begin to get into. Like, not even just like the bigger things of the sort of physical things of the plot, but it's like, oh, we need enough of this liquid to turn somebody into this. It's like, well, there's still plenty of liquid left. Like, try again.
Yeah.
At least try with what's left. Don't just like burn it all.
It's a bit of fun though. It's fun when Dan Aykroyd
What
shows
happened
up.
to her dad's body?
Good question. I mean,
does your whole body turn into a ghost when you die in Casper?
I don't know. I don't know how any of that
Maybe it's
works.
like the Ascension.
Sometimes you get turned into a fried egg.
Indeed. Oh god, yeah, I forgot about that. Dear.
He's getting choppered in.
So anyway, this was based on the comics. It was written by Neil Tolkien, who recently wrote 22 episodes of Magnum P.I. reboot. But he only has 5 other credits other than Richie Rich. And very similar with Tom S. Parker, who worked from 1992 to 1994. He has a credit on the 90s Flintstones movie amongst 100 other people. He did this, Major League 2, and Stay Tuned, and not much other than that, except for a very vital and uncredited role revising the script for Super Mario Brothers. So how about that for a little throwback reference? He must have been, polishing that a little bit. Also
polishing a turd, you might say.
Written again also by Jim Genovine, I don't know how you say that. But he also works a lot with the other guy, Tom Parker. And he's got a lot of the same credits, except for writing the screenplay for something called Rashid and Rajab in 2019. But apart from that, there's nothing else on any of their IMDb. So it's like, this has been their magnum opus in a weird way, I think. So let's hope they've all worked very well on it together.
Does that sign say United Tool?
Very possibly.
That's quite
There's
funny.
a lot of United Tools right there.
United Tool, yeah, it does.
Oh god, and he's just like longing for a real life. Wants to play baseball with the kids, not open up things with gold-plated socket wrench sets.
Yeah, this would suck, wouldn't it?
It really would. Like, he's just being groomed to be a miserable person for the rest of his life, basically.
That's the wealthy for you.
I mean, we'll get to the cast, actually. We've got Macaulay Culkin, also known as Mr. Macaulay Culkin, as Richie Rich Jr. I've got a note here. He's not to be confused with Mr. Richie Richard from the 90s Rick Mail vehicle Bottom. He's probably best known for the Home Alone duology. Aren't you glad they never made any sequels after the first 2?
They absolutely made sequels, and they are great.
No, they never.
Home Alone 3 is...
Actually, that's the one with the remote control car. Right?
Yeah,
I think
it's kind of
But
fun.
it's not as... Yeah, there's something alright about them. But I think the later ones when they recast Marv and Harry was a bit sad.
Oh, did they? Well,
yeah, they got
really. They were never going to be able to keep affording Joe Pesci.
Who was the weird one? I say that doesn't narrow it down, but the crazy one from Third Rock from the Sun. Incoming message from the big giant head. Something French, whatever his name is. But he plays one of the 2 burglars, and I don't even know which one he's meant to be because he doesn't even look like either of them. It's really bad casting. Anyway, we're not talking about Home Alone 4 because they didn't exist. Also in My Girl, Uncle Buck, and the music video for Michael Jackson's Black or White.
Yeah.
Playing very loud music, and apparently they were friends at the time. But moving on.
Yeah, moving swiftly along.
Since then, he's had quite a few appearances on TV. But he had like a 9-year gap because he stopped. This was his last film before like a big gap in acting.
Yeah.
It's his last performance as a child actor before emerging from his sort of fame and fortune cocoon as an adult in 2003 with a guest spot on Will and Grace. And also in the film Party Monster with Seth Green. But the real question is, was he ever in Frasier?
Probably, to be honest. I mean, everybody was in that
You reckon?
show.
So you're saying yes?
I'm going to go yeah.
I'm going to give you a half ding. Yes, he had a voice appearance in 1994.
All right. Oh, is he one of the phone-in people?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's usually where the main guest stars.
Oh, okay.
Like the last episode of the series will
I never watched it.
Like
Really?
The credits will have like a run through of all the guest stars and that have called into the show.
Oh, okay.
Not playing themselves, obviously playing characters.
Gotcha.
Well, I don't know. Some of them might have played themselves at some point.
I'm going to give you
There was a lot of that show.
a little brief spoiler now. That's the last of the Were They in Frasier's, because I didn't see anyone else in Frasier, and I thought if I asked it for everyone, they would all know, it would get really annoying. So. But
Yeah,
I just noticed that he was, so I had to.
Yeah, I probably would have wanted to kill you by the end of that.
Exactly.
So,
I've learned my lesson.
good choice.
We'll get quizzical later, and I'll annoy you greatly with that.
I'm satisfied with my half ding. In fact, no, it's not a half ding.
Well, it's a ding.
It's a full ding.
It's a full ding, but we're not keeping score.
Yeah.
I'm not keeping score.
It's still a ding, though.
Okay, well, we'll give you that ding.
There's a cute dog.
Oh, I meant to discuss this earlier when he was actually on screen, but the other cast member I was going to talk about, Rory Culkin, also known as Macaulay Culkin's wee brother, as young Richie Rich Jr.
Yep.
Best known for Signs, Mean Creek, You Can Count on Me, and Scream 4. But he's done many multi-episode appearances on TV more recently. He did Under the Banner of Heaven, Outliers, The Expecting, City on a Hill, Waco, like literally 5 or 6 episodes of a mini-series. He's done lots of little bit parts for the last 10 years. And had pretty regular movie work since about 2000. But this was apparently his first proper on-screen role, other than being in a photo in Uncle Buck. So Rory Culkin's proper debut appearance on screen here.
Yeah.
Well, so we blinked and we missed it, but
Uncle Buck's a good movie.
Oh, we missed Peter Lampley, also known as a baby, as Baby Richie Rich Jr. Babies, meh. Next.
Yep, indeed.
That's what I had to say about that.
Moving
on.
God, that laptop is cooking itself.
I know, it's not liking this.
It'll survive.
It'll be fine. It's just noisy. Hopefully, it's not coming too far through. We'll tweak the audio. It'll be fine. We'll tweak it. We'll tweak it.
Little tweaking. Little bit of tweaking.
I tell you what. Oh, actually, this might have been in my fun facts. I don't know if I wrote this down. But apparently, because Macaulay Culkin is meant to be pretty young, but he was already 5'2", and so they cast. Most of this casting is all 6 foot plus tall, so that he looks a bit shorter.
I was going to say when he was
because he does look quite grown up by now.
Yeah, when he was at the United Tool fucking thing.
He looked very tall.
Yeah, he did look. Yeah, he looked older than I think he's meant to be in this.
Anyway, let's have a look at the cast here. It's not a great order. We've got Edward Herrmann, rest in peace, as also known as Herman Munster once. As Richard Rich Sr. He played Herman Munster the year after this in a one-off TV movie. It was his only appearance in the role. Oh, right. I just liked it that his name is Edward Herrmann and he played Herman Munster. So that was fun to me.
Convenient.
But he's done loads and loads of stuff since
I like this
mid-70s. Yes!
This guy is in everything. Well, he's one of those in everything guys.
I think I literally said that about him on this. What's his name? He's the techie man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yes, well this is jumping ahead a bit. This is our Doctor Who connection, I think.
Oh right, okay.
So this is Michael McShane, sorry, also known as Grail, who is the Weeping Angel collector from Doctor Who in The Angels Take Manhattan.
Oh, is he?
I think that's him. Yeah. So,
are you sure about that?
Is he not Professor Keenbean, a brilliant inventor who works for Rich Industries? So that's him, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
And he was in Office Space, Vampire Hunter D: Bloodlust.
Right.
That's literally the name. It's Vampire Hunter D: Bloodlust. I don't know. That's fucking weird. Also in Robin Hood: Prince of Thieves.
Oh, that's where I know him from. He's Friar Tuck.
He was in 17 episodes of Spawn, 2 episodes of Seinfeld. Ugh. He was in 5 episodes of Jack and Ori.
Oh.
Which was fun.
Well, there you go. What the hell is that? Oh, it's a laser!
Anyway, back to Richard Rich Sr. I didn't finish my chat about him. He was in loads since the 70s. Apparently he was best known for The Lost Boys, Overboard, Nixon, Annie. He was in, like I say, Here Come the Munsters, 10 episodes of The Practice, and 6 episodes of Oz. That's the prison one, not the Technicolor Land one.
Right. If you say so.
I never actually watched it. I saw a bit of it, but it was like a pretty like intense like prison drama. Like
yeah.
What else has he been in? Like apparently his final credit was for playing an old man in American Dad in 2016. So
well, there you go.
What a great way to end a career.
Yeah.
He does. I just look at him now and I just see Herman Munster. I must have seen that movie at some point.
I don't think I've seen. I used to watch the original.
The Munsters are great. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Do you know the fun fact about the colour of the Munsters' house?
No.
It was bright pink, so that when they shot it in black and white, it looked a good colour.
Okay.
But like everything inside it was like garish and pink and green and like crazy colours.
Makes sense. Movie magic or TV magic, I suppose.
Oh my god! I think I remember some of these moments. It's very cue for children, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit James Bond, and this is
just really,
very, very bad idea.
That's like an OSHA hazard, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, you get in trouble for that.
They're billionaires, you know. They don't follow the same rules as the rest of humanity.
Nice grouping, Sherman. Oh my god, that's a high-tech drone.
It's a little bee robot.
I mean, that is super, super advanced for the 90s, but that CG is shite. I'm actually amazed how shit it is.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
Well,
it's alright. It does look a bit like a sort of early kind of 3D movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it comes hovering at the front of the screen. And
Cadbury is so good in this.
Yeah.
No. We'll come to Mr. Jonathan Hyde. Wow, we've got Mrs. Rich first, haven't we?
Robot bee.
He would.
Cadbury, you cad.
So yes, we've got Christine Ebersole as Mrs. Rich.
Yeah.
Or Mrs. Regina Rich. They really, really tried hard with these names, didn't they?
Yeah.
He's an award-winning stage actor and singer, apparently best known for Amadeus, Richie Rich, Wolf of Wall Street, and Black Sheep.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently did 80-plus episodes of something called Bob Hart's Abishola, various episodes of something called Search Party, Blue Bloods, Steven Universe, and like many other weird one-offs recently.
Yeah.
Something called Sullivan and Son. I don't know if that's like Steptoe and Son. It made me think of that. She was on an episode of Ugly Betty, one of Will and Grace, and many other TV movies since like 1977. So she's been on loads. Apparently, one of her earliest credits was SNL in the 80s.
Oh yeah. God, look at that phone. That's an advanced. Oh look, they've all got one.
Are they just calling down the table?
Oh, it's that guy.
Yes, well, he's John Larroquette, I think. Is this that Lawrence Van Doe, the evil guy?
Yeah.
So he's the greedy CFO of Rich Enterprises, apparently. But he's best known for Night Court, the original in 1984, and the remake in 2023. He's in The Librarians, Stripes, and something called a Klingon in something called Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. If that means anything to you.
It rings a bell, certainly.
Apparently he was the narrator for 3 Texas Chainsaw Massacre films.
There you go.
Otherwise a pretty prolific TV actor since 75. Been in like odd little things, Parks and Rec, Chuck, 33 episodes of Boston Legal, and he voiced the Mirror Master in The Batman. Ooh. I thought that was a nice little DC reference there.
Intriguing.
It makes me think of Robert California. What's his name? Ultron?
Oh,
he's got that face.
James Spader.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a bit of that going on there, I think.
What else we got here? Oh, I've come to the best, the creme de la creme of the cast.
Oh yeah.
The creme de la Cadbury creme. Jonathan Stephen Jeffrey King, also known as Jonathan Hyde, also known as Van Pelt, the hunter dude from Jumanji.
Yeah.
He plays Herbert Arthur Runcible Cadbury,
Runcible.
The rich family's trustworthy butler. Best known films according to IMDb. The 4 I saw there are kind of good for shouting.
Yeah.
Jumanji! Anaconda! Mummy! Titanic! Maybe not the last one. But the other ones, you can imagine someone shouting either in fear or in exclamation.
I'm just imagining like an Oliver musical called Titanic! Exclamation mark.
That's how I've written it.
Titanic the musical.
Apparently he's done recently a lot of voice work playing a character called Stickler in The Troll Hunters.
Alright.
And The Master in the Strain, or whatever that means. 13 episodes of Dinotopia. And loads of other stuff. He may well crop up again in another movie that we might be watching again. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say more if we know how the 6 degrees are. Also, in 2 episodes of Jack and Ori.
Oh, there you go. You should have done an Are They
Well, I would have done. But again,
mark.
there were only 2 people that were in Jack and Ori. So I'm just trying to not stress you out too much until let's get quizzical. What else we got?
I'm not enjoying that waistcoat with that suit. That's not working at all.
Nah.
Like the waistcoat and the bow tie.
Too glaring.
It's not working with the plain tuxedo thing. It's just not good.
God, he's slimy, isn't he?
He is very slimy.
Just slithering away there.
Fantastic hair, though.
Well, impressive, not fantastic.
Yeah, okay, I was a bit hyperbolic with that.
Yeah.
It's lush.
Not go too far.
It's voluminous.
Voluminous.
Yeah, that one.
Easy for you to say.
Apparently.
I
do like a pointlessly elaborate clock. No, that's not even that elaborate.
We've now come to another section of the cast that I'd like to call child actors who are basically only known for this.
Alright.
We've got Steffi Lindberg as Gloria.
Mm-hmm.
She was in this, Blown Away, City by the Sea, and did some stunts on Drillbit Taylor. She had 3 episodes on Law and Order, 2 of Joan of Arcadia, and a couple of other scattered things since '94, but basically just known for this. Michael Macarone, or Macaroni. It's not got an I, but it looks like macaroni with an E. As Tony, he's now a producer.
Tony Macaroni.
Indeed. But he's now a producer for things like Parks and Rec, Love, Space Force, which if you haven't seen it is actually quite good.
Oh, yeah.
The Patient, and The Godfather of Harlem.
Oh, look who it is.
It's Link. It's Miss Claudia Schiffer.
There you go. We tied it all together, folks.
We have indeed. We failed to notice her in the last film, but here she is here, because she's an exercise instructor. Oh, crikey, hello.
Is Macaulay Culkin doing some fourth wall breaking shit in this?
What, just staring at her ass?
No, that... What?
Would that be fourth wall breaking? For him to just not be paying attention to the exercise and just getting distracted?
No.
Why is Cadbury doing this?
Fourth wall breaking is a very specific...
Do you look at the camera? I didn't notice.
Yeah, he did a thing. The camera was like, "Whoa, get a load of those gams, lads."
He's picked that up from his father.
Yeah, probably. And I mean, Cadbury, I think, was only there just because he's a pervert, you know? You know these rich types.
Oh, I do. Oh my god, that computer was so cool when I was a kid.
I forgot about the stupid digital face.
It's a Unix system. I know this. Didn't say the magic word. Oh yeah, so anyway, that other guy, he's basically been in this and a couple of other things.
What the fuck is this? Have they got some sort of space-based weaponry?
It is pretty intense. I imagine this is how Elon Musk lives his life, though. With a sort of secret not Doctor Who, like, I was going to say Doctor No style evil base in a mountain somewhere.
Really? Because I think he just sits in a dark, sweat-stinking room.
Tweeting up a storm.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right.
And occasionally goes and does an interview. When I say interview, I mean the most softball version of that. Anyway. Oh, I see. It's like a
Congratulations on the zit. Is he feeling grown up because he's got a zit?
I think it's just an impressive zit.
Oh.
That's a unpleasant colour for a car.
Cool car, though. Suicide door or something.
I think we'll call that baby poop brown.
Oh, baby poop brown's more of a yellowy shade, though, isn't it?
It was quite yellowy.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was a sort of dark mustard.
Oh, okay.
God, what a...
Oh, hello, it's him!
Oh, that guy.
So this is one of our cameos. We've got Ben Stein playing an economics teacher, possibly best known as another economics teacher in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the host of Win Ben Stein's Money, and as Dr. Arthur Newman in The Mask and Son of the Mask.
That's what I was thinking
Because we all wear masks, metaphorically speaking.
Yes.
That was that. Whenever I see him, I just think of his... Mr. Ripkiss, please get out of my office. Just such deadpan, like... Yeah, so there's a few little random cameos, I think, that pop up like him.
That's the spirit. Fuck all this economics shit. You're an artist.
Oh, I forgot to chat about Claudia Schiffer when she came on.
Oh, yeah.
So she's the world-renowned German supermodel and actress. She holds the Guinness World Record for the most appearances on magazine covers. What do you think? How many appearances do you think she's had? Or at the time of the fact or the award, how many do you think she'd had appearances on magazine covers?
Could literally be anything because Guinness World Records are a bunch of bullshit.
It's over 1,000 appearances on individual magazines. I thought that was quite a lot. But this was her film debut. Then she starred in The Blackout, Friends and Lovers, Black and White before Zoolander, which we saw, and also has a cameo in Love Actually. And that's about as much as I could find about her acting career. Very memorable performance in this so far.
I've forgotten it already.
Indeed. Money is fun, he said. Spoiled kids.
It is quite fun, though.
Well, yes.
He's not wrong.
Money doesn't buy you happiness, it just buys a lot of things that look, taste and feel exactly like it.
Yeah.
That's the trouble.
What's the difference exactly?
Morals.
Oh.
Or philosophical differences only.
See, I think...
Oh my god!
I think it's just straight up money buys you happiness because money buys you everything because that's how money works.
At least Richie Rich has learned already that you're not rude to wait staff. You just
that's good.
He just made that little shit spill coffee all over him.
Good lad.
Good lad. That's more of a golden sort of bronzy baby poo colour.
Okay.
It's like bronzy baby poo.
Bronzy baby poo. That sounds like a name.
That's when they used to make pacifiers out of like copper.
Oh.
Copper and tin.
Good lord.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great, does it? Oh, who else do I need to go through on the cast list here? There's quite a few. We had Marianne...
certain sacrifices
Filipino.
must be made for the life of wealth and responsibility. Fucking wealth and responsibilities. That kid's going to have absolutely no responsibilities. Ever. In his entire life. I mean, until he learns responsibility.
Yeah, he could have got away with just having a completely responsibility-free life. But he decided to have morals.
He
and
just
friends.
wants to be a normal kid. Oh god, he's rocking the horrid waistcoat as well.
They probably haven't been vaccinated, oh dear.
Oh, Cadbury, come on now.
That is a harsh thing to say. You think you're going to give them like cooties or something?
That's extremely classist, actually.
Yeah.
Cadbury.
I'm not impressed.
Emphasis once again on the cad. So he's a pervert, he's classist.
And his middle name's Runcible.
That's
actually
good
quite cool, yeah.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Cadbury, I got to say. He's turning into the villain of this piece. Really the actual villain, what's his crime, really?
Greed.
He just wants to be more rich. But, I mean, he lives in that world, so, that's kind of to be expected. Maybe he's a pervert as well. Maybe they're all perverts.
I
mean, they're all rich.
I just want to
so
say,
they're probably all
that
perverts.
you're talking over the introduction of these 4 child actors who basically only ever appeared in this, and you're ruining their high grade performances by talking about perverts.
I'm sure their performances are wonderful for child actors. I don't care.
That guy, they're right. The sunglasses is just so big for his face. It's amazing.
Excuse me. Hit a touchdown, Master Richie. Yes, I did. Sports. You'd think you would just pick up that kind of thing through osmosis, really, wouldn't you?
You'd hope.
But whatever.
So yeah, 2 other...
You can do it, Richie. That was poor sportsmanship there.
Yeah. Is he pretending to be shit? Because he's actually like trained by...
No, I think she's just good at bowling. Or pitching, I should say. There we go. Well, you fucked it now.
So yeah, the other 2 child actors that are basically only known for this, we've got Joel Robinson as Omar. He has 4 credits.
Yeah.
Which admittedly does include 19 episodes of something called Sister Kate. But apart from that, he appears as a friend in Uncle Buck and a patient in The Fugitive. Extensive. There's also Jonathan Hilario as Pee-wee. He's in this, A Pig's Tale, and Rookie of the Year. That's it. So they obviously got out of acting young before they had the wealth and fame and fortune problems of Mr. Macaulay Culkin. Oh, and this dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, him.
He's the security man.
Him.
So, who's he?
Is that him from flipping... No, it's not. I was going to say, is that him from Twin Peaks? But no, I'm thinking of somebody else. Maybe he was in Twin Peaks as well, because I think everybody was in Twin Peaks.
Is he the plant manager? I'm trying to remember who he is. I think he's Matt DeCaro. Let me have a look at the actual IMDb page and see his face. I didn't catch who he was. No, that's not him.
Won't be too long for you having tea and crumpets with the Queen. Well, it's a bit late for that, isn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't a bit late. Fucking 1994.
I just wanted an excuse to get a boot in at the Queen, alright?
Alright, fair play. Do you need an excuse for that?
Not really.
So that was Chelsea Ross. It's this guy here, look.
Oh, right, okay. It's not who I thought it was.
He's also known as Colonel Oates, and he's playing Ferguson. He's a security chief plotty man in this film. Spoilers. But he's known for like loads of things around this area, like Major League, Hoosiers, Basic Instinct, and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Oh,
and he's got like 90 odd other TV and movie credits.
That building is the shape of the Superman emblem.
It is. What
I
shape?
wonder if they ever
actually
decorated
does
such.
Superman's emblem have a flat bottom or a point at the bottom? It is a point, isn't it?
Most of the time it's a point, I think.
Fair play. And what does the S stand for?
Shite.
Yes.
No, he's a bit sleazy, isn't he? All aboard. I
mean, there's a lot of just generic.
Oh, is this a bit?
Sleaze.
Is this when it? No, his parents don't get killed in this. They get kidnapped or something, don't they?
I think they just get stranded on a life raft, if I recall.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah, I'm just having flashes of them floating on a big yellow dinghy, and she's drinking martinis or something. Because they had their emergency rations.
Well, I guess.
Which obviously includes martinis.
Yes, probably.
Probably not pre-mixed. It's probably
some caviar as well, I would imagine.
Yes. Well, you can get caviar tinned.
I suppose if you're in the ocean, you could just
catch some fish.
Yeah, just get some fresh caviar.
Why was that available?
What?
Wanting to have fun with your mates? I don't get it. Right.
Look at him with his stupid little cricket outfit.
Yeah, they're going to play cricket, or is he just wearing that because he's posh?
They could have at least given him some like normal person clothes, you know.
You calling it idiom?
Yep. Luncheon served.
Here's an interesting...
You would not let... No parent in their right mind would let their kids anywhere near this place.
Did you know that Mr. Jonathan Hyde was actually an Australian man?
I didn't know that.
Moved to the UK when he was quite young and basically acts a lot with an English accent and talks with a somewhat English accent, but apparently he's never really lost it and he doesn't try to hide it. He's very much Australian from birth and grew up there.
Holy shit balls.
They've got a Macca's!
It's a built-in McDonald's. That's amazing.
You know he goes there every day.
I imagine he's getting lunch for his team.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Alright. He seems like a good boss, you know? He was praiseworthy of that other guy's gun skills, which is
that's true.
Kind of disturbing, actually. But...
Oh, there's one
playing basketball in a room like that is just stressing me out. Just the thought of that. Like, that ball's going to go bouncing into that screen and smash it. And this is all recipes for deaths.
Weighing them all and calculating the force required so they don't overshoot here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'll land in a pond, I guess. So, you know.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
It's fine.
Unless they get on the edge and crack the spine.
Ooh.
That was a very frenetic bit of editing.
Yeah, I was like, are they going to actually show them landing?
Well, I can't. My phone's ringing, but I shall not be taking that. It's not even a recognised number.
Tell them to fuck off.
No, you're alright. They'll leave a message if it's important.
Yeah.
I have but one more member of the cast to discuss.
Okay.
And it was a cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Jackson as himself, playing Richie's private baseball coach. Former baseball pro for various teams that play sports ball in America. Apparently he ran home over 563 times during his career, which sounds like a lot, so I hope he didn't live too far away. See what I did there?
Yeah, very
good.
good.
I thought I might just end on that wonderful note.
These two are flirting.
Yes. Well, this is...
I mean,
that's the
I
one
don't know why
I
that's
didn't mention.
Remarkable. I mean, it's good for them.
She
should be aware, though, she should be aware of his
slightly offensive candidness.
Yes, his classism and his perverted nature. Look at this!
He's just trying to get close. He's... What? A what? Do I detect a rising fire sign?
Okay.
I mean, I get that was meant to be astrology, but that could have been misinterpreted. I
think that was a joke for the grown-ups in the audience.
I didn't get that as a kid. The best day of your life. It's all downhill from here.
I don't like the fact that dog has had dollar signs painted on it.
Yeah, it doesn't look real. Its face looks like a stuffed toy for some reason. I've never seen a dog that doesn't look like it's got real fur.
Maybe it's very advanced animatronic.
Maybe. This is one of the parts of the film not shot on location in a specific place whose name I forgot because it's the Six Flags. When they go to his roller coaster, they're actually at Six Flags. In America, somewhere. Obviously, it's not like on set.
I've been to a Six Flags before.
So have I.
It was a lot of fun.
I went on a wooden roller coaster and it was fucking terrifying.
I didn't do that. I don't think they had one. Oh no, they definitely did at the one that I went to. But I think it was actually closed.
Oh. My dad and I went on, and he had a pair of glasses in his top pocket at the start of the ride, and didn't at the end.
Yeah.
And we have no idea where they went.
Into orbit.
It wasn't even that, like, it was just a rattly, blooming crazy thing.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even that fast, just terrifying. Like, I can't think the scariest one I've been on, it's the slowest. In terms of roller coasters.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't been on a roller coaster in years, so they're fun. Do you like it?
Up to a point, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I would enjoy it so much these days, but...
It's got a smelling machine. Some of this technology is super advanced even now.
Yeah.
But that does
Like
work.
some might say that this is impossible, what he's doing right now.
Oh, I don't think it's impossible. I just think we don't have the technology to do like a broad spectrum of spells right now. We can do certain things. You get gas sensors for all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
We'll have tricorders one day, don't you worry.
I long for the day.
So do I.
I actually couldn't really care less, but...
I want a tricorder. Imagine being able to like... just
It's a
know
bomb!
everything around it. You could do 3D scans of everything.
It's a bomb! Don't open the window, you fool!
A bomb?
That's a plane you're flying.
Oh, it got it out there though. Oh,
Well-
you can open the window when you're flying a plane.
I suppose it's not like a high altitude thing, I guess. I don't know how planes work.
Very well.
Well, you'd hope so. This one isn't working very well.
I like the parallel between excitement of falling and fear of falling. It's a very subtle nod they're doing.
Yeah.
They're all screaming,
You almost
but
would-
some of them are having fun, but some of them aren't. Do you see what they're
You
doing?
would almost miss it, you know?
I just thought I'd point it out in case you did.
I'm glad you did. Cause
Oh, he thinks he's the new chairman already because he's a sabotagey little prick. You murderous cretin.
It's always the hubris of the villain to assume that they have won before they've actually confirmed that they have won. You know, just verify, you know?
Indeed.
You've got all this amazing...
I'm just going to put him in an easily escapable position and just
exactly.
assume that it works.
You've got all this amazing like long range communication technology. Surely you could just have a satellite follow the plane and be like, oh yeah, it's crashed, they're dead.
Your best
Good.
bet is probably actually just to bribe someone and convince them to have a pilot, and then just have the pilot off.
Or just...
Or do anything. You can do any kind of thing that's
Yeah.
more practical than just leaving a bomb randomly. Well, it's pretty good, but it's going to it's traceable.
Yeah. But then it would get traced back to the guy who put it on the plane.
I suppose, yeah, not
You know,
necessarily.
these
He's
playing
CEO,
4D
chess. I didn't
CFOs
realise.
types, they always have their business at arm's length, you know? Plausible deniability.
Do you think it's time to move on to the Let's Get Interestingly Quizzical section?
Okay. Well, it's up to you, really. It's your show.
I think it is, because we need to get some more excitement in the film. I think you're going to quite like the quiz this week.
Okay, bring it on.
I made them a little bit easier for you, so you wouldn't be struggling so hard.
Well, that's patronising,
and
but okay.
I thought you might like to get a few.
Look at that keyboard. that's a gamer keyboard. That is. It's like Splatoon 2 with the. It's all ergonomic and shit.
not found. I feel like it does say it like that.
I think it probably does. Yeah.
Very robot-y.
Dad not found. I had nothing to do with... Oh, wait. He's talking to that guy.
Entree.
Right, come on then.
So yes, well, interesting or not interesting? Blah, blah, blah. Question number one. This is... we talked
I like how this guy is basically... his office is just like transport tycoon. He's got a boat and a train. He's probably got like some sort of road vehicle. A bus, maybe.
Never seen it. Do you think after he changes ownership of the company, he's going to get rid of the RR insignia and everything?
Yeah, probably.
Or is he still going to be called Rich Industries?
No, he seems like... I'm amazed he's not like stripped all the branding off everything already. Because he seems like the sort of villain, like I say, that proclaims victory before he's verified anything. And he seems like the sort of prick who would very hastily strip everything down and slap his own branding on it.
Very, very much agree with you there.
Like, he's probably going to hold a press conference where he's like, this is tragic, but we should all just move on with our lives and not think about it too much.
We don't want the sad feelings. We want to just have happy feelings.
Anyway, trivia me. /quiz me.
So yes, number one. Blah, blah, blah.
Wah.
This is the first time Edward Herrmann's character, or his character name in a film, is Richard. And the second is in Gilmore Girls, where he's Richard Gilmore. So we've got Richard Rich in Richie Rich and Richard Gilmore in Gilmore Girls. Is that interesting or not
That's
interesting?
possibly the least interesting thing I've ever heard in my life.
I know, exactly. And I said, it's not interesting. It's more interesting that he played Herman Munster, because his name's Herman.
Yeah.
And that's more interesting.
I mean, that's
in real life,
barely interesting in itself. It's only interesting
I just think
because
it's more interesting.
It's more interesting because it's the Munsters than
So
anything
well
else.
done. Ding! You got
I got a ding.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, wait. I
didn't
didn't
get
get a ding.
but
That's
that's
not how
correct.
it works.
You got an but it's correct. So you've got a point.
But we're not keeping score.
No, we're not.
Somebody in the comments keep score.
They won't.
They won't do it. But do it.
Question number 2.
Like and subscribe as well.
And follow and ring that bell.
Ding all the bells. Speaking of dinging, am I going to get a ding with this one?
Well, we'll see. This is the 4th film that writers Tom S. Parker and Jim Genowin were writers on or involved with in 1994. The other films were Major League 2, The Flintstones, as part of the 100 credited writers of the film, which I mentioned earlier, Getting Even with Dad, which also starred Macaulay Culkin. But is that interesting, that whole idea that they've all done the same thing in 1 year?
I don't think that's that interesting, really.
I just put that it's interesting that there were 100 writers in The Flintstones, but I spoiled it by telling you earlier.
I'd forgotten.
Well, exactly. Okay, well, it's not. It is interesting. So
I mean, that bit of it's interesting, I suppose.
I know. Well, I had to find some interest. The IMDb trivia for this is trash. Like absolute trash.
I mean, that sort of implies that it's ever not trash, but.
But now we move on to question number 3. Between filming scenes when he first meets the kids playing baseball, Macaulay Culkin carried around a coconut on set. Is that interesting or not interesting?
I mean, that's quite interesting. Yeah, I want to know more about that. So
Ding!
yeah, that's
interesting. But I'm not entirely sure why it's interesting, but it is. So yes, ding.
It's just one of those mysterious things. If I ever meet Macaulay Culkin, I'll ask him about it.
You're doing very well so far.
I'm doing incredibly well.
Question number 4. In the scene where Richie and his entourage are breaking into the mansion, Noah is outside eating a Twinkie bar. This is an homage to the Twinkie bar adverts that featured heavily in Richie Rich comic books. Is that interesting or not interesting?
I don't think that's interesting at all, actually.
You are correct. It is not interesting. You're doing very well there, you see?
Good.
Doesn't it feel good when you get some of these right?
I hate you.
Question number 5. The Rich Mansion is the same one used in the film Hannibal from 2001 as the home of Mason Verger. Is that interesting or not interesting?
That is interesting.
It is interesting, and I kind of want to watch Hannibal again.
I like Hannibal.
Yeah.
I think it's alright. Is that the one where the
It's the one with Ray Fiennes and the big tattoo on his back?
No, that's Red Dragon.
Well, that's Red Dragon.
Which is also very good.
Is Hannibal the one where
Hannibal's the one where there's a flashback where he makes a guy feed his face to some pigs.
Gotcha.
And I remember seeing that and thinking,
that's pretty intense.
I'm too young to be watching this, probably.
Very possibly. And look how you've turned out.
Yeah, it's all gone swimmingly so far.
You keep pigs, don't you?
No, I don't.
No. Well, shall we move on now to question number 6?
Are we on 6 already? Blimey.
We are indeed. Question number 6. By the time this movie was made, Richie Rich's publisher, Harvey Comics, had actually ceased production due to declining sales. Is that interesting or not interesting?
I don't think it's that interesting, really. I suppose it's kind of interesting in that.
That shot of him, that's such a creepy photo. Sorry, I had to just say that.
That's very odd. No, I don't think... It's kind of interesting in that, like, why did... It must have been a real kick in the teeth for them when they learned, presumably mid-production of this film, that the comics aren't going anymore, and therefore this entire project is pointless. But it was kind of pointless from the get-go anyway, so...
So you're saying that's interesting?
I'm saying it's not interesting.
I'm afraid, ding, it's interesting.
Okay.
Interesting that there was any interest in making the film at all.
Well, okay.
That's
yeah,
what's
fair
interesting
enough.
about it.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, but you just said the wrong answer. So you were doing well, but you lost a point there. That we aren't counting.
Yeah.
The final question. I've only got 7 of the interesting or not interesting.
7?
I thought 7.
Interesting.
But then we have a quiz.
Oh, of course.
So I didn't want to overload you on the not interesting questions. So yeah, number 7.
He made the board of directors take a pay cut. He's a working man's hero.
Good man.
He's not taking a pay cut though.
Actually, yeah, that's quite funny that he's actually smart enough to be able to actually just outmaneuver the evil villain in this film. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
But look at his snout. That doesn't look like proper hair. It looks like a dog made out of plaster of Paris. Like they've poured plaster into a hole in Pompeii and just like scooped it out.
Yeah. Whoa, that's a gumball machine.
Oh, Jesus. Bet they're really old.
Yeah,
They're
probably.
all stuck together.
Oh.
Ugh. I hope that's well thermally regulated. Anyway, question number 7. Oh, well, actually, apparently I did write down my fact that I told you earlier. I didn't realise it's in here. So when the film was put into production, Macaulay Culkin was 5'2".
Yeah.
A cast of tall actors were hired to create the illusion that he was actually shorter than he actually was most of the time. But the cast, most of them are taller than 6 feet. Is that interesting or not interesting?
I think that's interesting because you don't normally cast tall.
Oh dear, they're doing the Home Alone trick.
Unless you really, really, really have to.
Well, I think the answer there is ding correct. It is interesting. So yeah, also it's classic movie trickery. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
People standing on boxes. Apparently when they did the first X-Men film, Hugh Jackman would have to squat a lot and everyone would be standing on planks and boxes because they were really aware that he was like...
it's kind of hunchy in that,
so
in that movie.
Yeah. Doesn't get much... Just they give up after a while.
Yeah.
But that was interesting or not interesting.
That
You did pretty well.
Pretty good. I think I got all of them actually. So let's move on.
You didn't, but ding.
Okay.
We'll give you a vague enough ding.
A vague ding.
But now...
My favourite kind of ding.
Moving on to the Let's Get Quizzical section.
WizKid learns the biz. And we're about to do a quiz.
Oh, you're a poet and you didn't even realise.
I did actually.
Well, question 1 of Let's Get Quizzical. In theatres, this film was shown with a cartoon before the main feature.
Oh.
But which characters were featured in said cartoon? If you like, I can give you a clue and give you the name. But I'll give you a multiple choice here.
Okay.
So is it A, is it Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner? Is it B, Daffy Duck and Scrooge McDuck? Is it C, Sylvester and Tweety? Or is it D, Bugs Bunny and Elmer J. Fudd? Let me know if you want a half-point option and we'll give you the name of the film.
I'm gonna go Sylvester and Tweety.
I'm afraid. The
correct answer... Is it Bugs and Fudd, is it?
Do you want to try again? Do you want to hear the name of the thing and see if that helps you?
Okay.
It's called Chariots of Fur.
Oh, well then, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a Bugs Bunny short.
I'm afraid you're wrong. It was Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
Alright, well. It's all the same shit, isn't it?
I was trying to make these easy for you, but maybe not.
Now you failed,
We've got
you?
a few casty questions.
Oh, look, there they are with their...
Yeah, I told you on the thing. Is she eating it? Well, they're drinking champagne. I was close. Not a martini.
That's a bad idea, to be drinking alcohol in that situation.
You're better than that than seawater.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I presume they've got some bottles of Evian or something stashed away.
Probably got a bottle of Perrier.
Perrier, that's what I was thinking of, yeah.
What was that joke in Red Dwarf where, like, unfortunately, the water source of Perrier has been poisoned or damaged, and they believe the middle class will be extinct in 6 weeks. So anyway, question number 2.
Hurrah!
Of Let's Get Quizzical.
Let's.
Jonathan Hyde replaced another actor who was initially cast in the role of Cadbury, but who was it? Was it A, Eric Idle? Was it B, John Cleese? Was it C, Michael Palin? Or was it D, Stephen Fry?
Oh, it could literally be any of those.
That's
not Michael Palin. No, I don't think it would be Michael Palin.
You don't think so?
No, doesn't seem like the sort of character he would play.
Okay. Well, those are your options.
I could see it being Eric Idle. Nah, maybe not. What were the other two?
We have Eric Idle, John Cleese, Michael Palin, and Stephen Fry.
So I'm definitely leaning...
I'll give you another little clue. David Thewlis was initially cast before Hyde.
How does that help in any way?
No, just to give you the sort of type they're looking for.
So I'm kind of tempted to go with Stephen Fry for the whole Jeeves and Wooster thing.
Okay.
But
is that
actually, the Stephen Thewlis clue. Is that his name, Stephen Thewlis?
I think so. Yeah, if that's how you say it.
That's kind of angling me more towards John Cleese, and given the performance and the dialogue, I think of those four, I can most picture John Cleese doing it. So yeah, I'm going to go John Cleese.
You are correct, ding.
Yes!
Well
Fucking
done.
reasoning it out, baby!
And I thought I intentionally gave you a little red herring there with the Stephen Fry. Just to sort of guide you.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I think this is great. So here's another one for you. Which one of the following four people were not considered to play other roles and or turned down offers to appear in the film?
Okay.
So one of these four people was not at all offered anything. So was it A. Elijah Wood, B. Tim Allen, C. John Goodman, or D. Kevin Costner? Which of those four people were not? And the roles would have been either Richie Rich Sr. or Richie Rich Jr.
I'm gonna go Kevin Costner.
Oh, you got that spot on. Well done, Ding.
Because his
Too obvious.
career was dead by this point.
This is 1994.
When was Waterworld?
Like 96 or something, I feel.
Yeah, he was, and nobody really liked that movie at the time.
Fair enough.
Everybody was kind of, this was very much the era of Kevin Costner on the decline,
well, you're doing
which is a shame because I quite like Kevin Costner.
I thought Kevin Costner when I was thinking about this. I should have put in Michael Keaton. That would have been a good one.
Yeah. I could see Michael Keaton being the villain in this. Actually,
I need to be better at writing these quiz questions. But I'm glad you're getting them. You're doing good.
This is good because
you're feeling good about it.
They're tricky enough for me to have to think about it. But they're not too taxing. So
next one I have a slightly less taxing one. Question number 4: True or false?
Oh,
at the time of filming, Macaulay Culkin, obviously playing Richie Rich, the richest kid in the world, he was actually the second richest kid in the world. Is that true or false?
At this time, I would say probably true.
I'm afraid it was false. He was the richest kid in the world.
Oh,
not the second richest kid.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Well, there you go.
So there you go. You didn't get that one. I've got one of my classic ones next.
By classic, do you mean shite?
Well, question number 5.
Shite.
There is a pinball machine featured in the movie, and it was custom made by one of only a few companies around that was still making pinball machines.
Okay.
But what was the name of the company? Was it A, Data North? Was it B, Data South? Was it C, Data East? Or was it D, Data West?
Now, see, what you should have done there for D was just have something completely different. That would have been a nice little bait and switch. But anyway, I'll teach you how to be funny one day. Don't worry about it. So, what was the question?
Would you like me to tell you? Okay, well, I'll start again and I'll try and be funnier, shall I? What if D was the correct answer? I can't swap D out if it's the right answer, can I?
Well, yeah.
I wanted to have consistency.
I'm
about repetition in my comedy.
I'm just giving you... Well, yeah, repetition does have its place. Certainly has its place.
Also time.
Definitely has its place. Repetition has its place.
Repetition does too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I shall repeat the question. The pinball machine featured in the movie was made by a company, but what was the name of that company? Was it Data North, Data South,
Data North,
Data East, or Data West?
Data North is the only one that really sounds like a company. I'm sure I've heard that name before, so on that basis alone, I am going with that.
I'm afraid it was Data East.
That's a rubbish name for a company, though.
I should have said D.
Oh, that's really dangerous. Acid.
I should have said D, Data Law.
You should have.
I didn't think about that. I could have got a Star Trek reference in.
You see?
But now it is time for the final question of the quiz. Question number 6. I was going to say blah, 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 but that's not quite appropriate.
Yeah.
Question number 6, ring-a-ding-ding. The question is, have these pointless multiple-choice quizzes brought anything to your life except misery? Is it A? Yes, it's brought me joy and happiness. Is it B? Is it yes, endless joy that keeps me awake at night? Is it C? Yes, I now have a deep admiration for your half-hearted commitment to the bit. Or D? No, nothing but misery. Please make it stop now.
Interesting. Let me have a think about it.
I can reread the answers if you like.
I wouldn't say it's brought me abject misery.
But has it brought anything to your life except misery?
It has, yeah. It's brought a degree of mirth.
Okay, so is the answer yes, joy and happiness? Yes, endless joy that keeps me awake at night? Is it I now have a deep admiration for your half-hearted commitment to the bit?
No.
Or is it no, nothing but misery? Please make it stop.
It's
those are your only options.
Well, I'm going to have to go with D then.
And you are correct, Ding!
Oh, okay. Excellent. I'm really glad that you can decide the status of my mind through a quiz.
Yes.
That's good.
Isn't that effective?
But saves me a lot of effort, actually.
But I'm glad there is a little bit of mirth in there for you. And perhaps it shall continue next week.
It's either mirth or wind.
Oh my god, Cadbury in jail! And he's going to escape with his melty toothpaste.
He's hard. He's an old man. Oh wait, I thought that was Cadbury in his disguise, but it's not.
No.
It is. What's he in jail for?
I can't even remember.
We were too busy.
We have paid.
Physical. Holy
nice little bit of a under camera prop swap.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be breathing in those fumes. Or I don't know, maybe in jail you would. Blah, blah, blah. Use this to escape.
Use toothpaste on bars? He's great. He's got good faces, isn't he, this guy?
He does, yeah.
Why is he just being randomly attacked by a biker who isn't in prison?
He's being assassinated.
By a biker in prison?
It's a
Where's he getting all this biker gear from?
It's an Ozymandias Mr. Chess, whatever his name, situation.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so in the graphic novel Watchmen,
okay,
Ozymandias fakes an attack on himself by hiring a guy he's called like Mr. Chess or something like that. So I presume that the villain in this is hired some sort of ruffian to go and set about Cadbury in a violent fashion.
I'm pretty sure that some of those sort of pin badges and things would be contraband in prison. You could definitely file some of that down to a razor blade, couldn't you?
You wouldn't. Yeah, that whole get-up is probably just a no, really.
Yeah. All that emotions are quite out of order.
It's alright, Cadbury. Don't be so
You're
repressed.
allowed to be human.
See, what happens when you're repressed is that you end up going along to your boss's kid's workout session with Claudia Schiffer. So just feel what you're feeling, man. That's what I'm saying. Get in touch with your emotions. And maybe you'll be less of a creep, is what I'm saying.
In touch with your emotions like those very tight leather trousers are bothering you.
Well, that's, yeah.
They did appear to be bothering you.
It's one way to get in touch with your emotions, I suppose. Tight binding underwear.
I'm sort of sad to say that was the end of my quiz.
I am beside myself.
But thankfully,
with grief.
We do have an impending trilogy, so we can have
a themed
trilogy.
That's true. You're going to have your work cut out for you there.
Don't you know?
Yeah,
I'm going to struggle actually.
I have every faith in your abilities.
Good. I'm glad. That's great to hear. She's like clutching her handbag, terrified. He's so polite. Shouldn't judge a person by what they wear.
Yeah, the clothes don't maketh the man.
Manners maketh man.
The man maketh the clothing.
Indeed. Neighbourhood watch we call police.
Yeah, fuck the police.
Yeah, we're on the run from the law. I just broke my butler out of prison.
To be fair, they've got pretty good disguises. Like, I don't think most people are going to recognise Cadbury in that get-up with the black eye and everything.
Or Mr. Richard Jr.
I'd say he's probably more recognisable.
Oh, sorry, no, I did it. I made the mistake. He's not Mr. Richard. That's the guy from Bottom. He's Richard Rich.
Yes.
He's not Rick Mail. Rick
So, how have these people not gone mad from ocean madness?
He doesn't even have a hat. He's going to be absolutely superior.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's got a decent thick head of hair there.
Yeah, his hair's essentially a hat. He's fine.
And also, you wouldn't want to be wearing a black hat.
There's no way I'm going to be rescued looking like this. Oh my god.
Not a bad little setup they've got going on there, to be fair. They've set up a nice little tent for themselves. He's got a little workstation. I like the fact that he's actually talented. You know, he's got
some tech savvy.
He's a maker. He's an engineer. That's good.
Thankfully, he's got a hugely customised mobile phone device that has all sorts of GPS high-tech advancedness that he can just.
Yeah, that is fortunate.
Just smack to the face. That always freaks me out. Raw meat on a wound. It can't be very good for you.
Surely
wrap it in cling film or something first. Don't just stick raw meat on your eyeball. That's just asking for like some sort of conjunctivitis infection.
Frozen, like a bag of frozen peas would probably be better anyway.
Yeah.
What the deuce?
Oh my god, they've got a secret computer. They're tracking them. Oh dear. Yes, a really big guy.
You seem to be having a whale of a time.
Yeah, he's
that cheeky little suppressed grin that you've got going on there. Your brow is not furrowed from concern, my friend. No.
Oh, I've just remembered the vault thing. Do you remember what's in the vault?
No.
Because his whole mission is he's trying to take over and get into the Rich's private, like...
Oh, and it's going to be something of sentimental value, but no monetary value.
Because that's what they truly value.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Yeah. It's probably going to be something that Richie had when he was a baby.
Probably.
That was on screen briefly. Maybe like the thing he had above his crib. The mobile that was like a crown with banknotes hanging off of it. Weird.
I mean, to be fair, I think even their like toys and personal belongings and sentimental things are probably actually worth quite a lot.
Yeah,
so I have like gold-plated cutlery and like all that kind of stuff. They're going to be all rich, poor things, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't want this tat. I wanted really valuable stuff.
I like the hospitality there that he's been given a little bowl of popcorn for doing his little hacking mission. That's very sweet. I like that. Your father has been found.
Oh dear.
Bleep bloop. Oh. Got it.
I have to get to the dad link. Imagine calling it dad link. And you're like, oh hey son, I've got a device here, I've called it dad link. And so like...
what else are you going to call it?
Well...
It's a link to his dad.
Richie Link, or Richard Rich Link, or something like that. What I mean is that, like, what if anybody else has to use it? Are they still going to call it Dad Link? Is it only for him?
It's only for his use,
okay.
really.
And
I suppose
was that
Cadbury...
his private office then, where he was in there? Is that like Richard?
Yeah, well, that's where they were all playing basketball and hanging out before.
No way.
Yeah, I suppose Cadbury could probably use it, but he's essentially just an extension of Richie Rich.
I suppose. Is he just Richie's butler, not anyone else?
No, he's the family butler. Wouldn't it be quite something if this just...
Where did they get the glasses from? Where did they get the champagne from?
Well, yeah. Wouldn't it be quite something if this just suddenly pivoted into, like, a Batman origin?
Or Green Arrow. Did you ever see the beginning of the TV series?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same in the comics, but they're on a raft and his dad shoots himself to save his son.
I don't know. I don't really know him from the comics.
I only know it from CW's Arrow.
I mostly know Green Arrow from the Justice League.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Justice League Unlimited, specifically.
Is he not in the first one?
No.
Oh, he's got the stupid blonde beard in that, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's meant to.
Oh,
He's meant. That's the whole thing about him. Is he's meant to just
Robin
look.
Hoodie.
Yeah, he's meant to look like Robin Hood. That's what he's meant. That's how he's meant to be.
Yeah, it's
not like he is in Arrow when he's just
a bit gritty
green
in
Batman.
Yeah, he is basically just Green Batman and Arrow, to be fair. Trained by Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. It's no coincidence that they just did all the Batman stuff with Oliver Queen.
And then...
Because they wanted to make a Batman show, but it's not quite as simple as that. Because apparently, due to some rights issue or something, you can't just make a Batman TV show.
Well, you can.
You can have Batman in your DC show, so you can have like a cameo of Batman.
Kevin Conroy got to play him in live action in the crossover.
Yeah, technically he was only playing Bruce Wayne, technically.
Bruce
and
Wayne
also
Batman.
that's fine because, like I say, you can have Batman show up as like a cameo, but you can't have just a Batman TV show.
But they had Batwoman, and that was shit.
I never watched any of it.
Yeah,
The last thing of that I watched was
Legends?
the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Nice.
And I hadn't watched really anything leading up to it. I hadn't watched any of the shows for like a couple of years up to that point. And I was like, I'm just going to jump back in with this and see what I think.
Absolute garbage?
And it absolutely broke my brain. I was like, this is bad on every level. It's terrible.
Great.
It's awful. It's nonsense.
The Flash finished last week.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to know what the final sequence was for?
Did he have to fight an evil speedster that was either himself from the past or future, or maybe like his children or something?
I mean, actually, yes, but that was because the what's his name? Thorne brought back Zoom and Savitar and Godspeed.
Oh, okay,
and they had to have a little fight with all them with all the team.
So they couldn't even be bothered making up a new evil speedster. They just
they
had
brought
to
back
bring
all the ones
old
he's killed
ones
in the past, and
Yeah.
Eddie Thorne crops up as a bad speedster as well. And but then right at the very, very, very end, he's like, right, now I know that the world's going to change, we've got to do this, so now I'm making the choice. That lightning struck me, but now I'm going to choose. And he just goes up and just lobs lightning bolts at random people and gives 3 random people speedster powers, and that's the end of the episode. And that's the end of the series. So it's such a weird thing to like, it's almost like they're setting up new series, but what, they're going to have 3 separate speedster spin-offs or something? They're not, are they?
Well, yeah,
really
I mean,
strange.
surely if they were going to do spin-offs, they would do spin-offs involving characters that they've already established rather than just 3 randoms.
That would make far too much sense.
What a stupid bunch of shit.
Yep. That's the CW for you.
It was really good to begin with. The Flash, the first series of The Flash is genuinely very good television, I think.
No, it was good at
And Arrow was pretty good for like a good 3 or 4 seasons.
It had ups and downs, Arrow. It had like a few dips in the middle, but it was generally okay.
It was a bit.
Legends of Tomorrow was always fun.
It got a bit. Well, yeah, that was very good. The first series of that was really good as well.
Except for the bird people, they were so annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of got a soft spot for Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Yeah, I just realised we're approaching the denouement of this movie, and we haven't really been paying much attention. We're now talking about CW. It's kind of more interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like this.
I don't think people
like
actually tune into these things to hear us talk about the movie.
Well,
I don't think people tune into these things. Full stop. Oh,
yay!
gassy.
We're talking into the void.
Well, what to do? So what's going on here? Are they poisoning the water supply?
Yeah, they're just putting bubbles in it. They're just trolling the stuff.
I see.
Bubbles?
Booblers? I mean, this isn't really a very good distraction because what's going to happen is, what's the problem?
That way.
Oh, bubbles? What?
We have a problem with the front fountain. Okay, we'll fix it.
Switch it off. Switch it off. Get the maintenance staff to go and deal with it. What's the issue here?
Geez.
That's very dangerous.
No, it's not. They just wouldn't probably spark like that, really.
I mean, it looked dangerous.
Yeah, that's just movie props. You could probably yank... They just look like coax cables. They're not going to be carrying much current.
I mean, you're assuming that that device was built with any sort of, like, craftsmanship or standards.
Also, judging by this guy's technological prowess, although he does make great stuff, I don't think he cares that much about health and safety.
He does enjoy... he does care a lot about big sausages? Was that a big sausage, or was it a bit of cheese? I don't know.
That the Twinkie reference? I don't get... No, who was Pee-wee was eating a Twinkie? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Pointless, not interesting facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were... The trivia on IMDb for this was really quite disappointing.
Yeah, I can imagine there not being that much.
Well, I had to combine like 4 bits of trivia for one of the questions, because it was one thing was Tim Allen was considered for the role of Richie Rich. Oh, right. John Goodman was considered the role for Richie. I was like, oh, right. So I just like smashed them all together. Oh, he's eating a Twinkie. That's a reference to the Twinkie advert. So now we know what that goes.
There we go.
We've linked to the fun fact.
We've figured it out.
Whoever smelt it.
Whoever denied it supplied it.
Whoever said the rhyme did the crime.
Whoever farted did the fart.
Yeah, fair play. Oh, we've got newsy. Oh, you meanie.
That's just rude. I mean, Twinkies are shit, so...
They really are.
The joke's on them, really.
Although, you see somebody eating a Twinkie,
and
it makes you want to eat cake or something, at least.
Yeah. I don't know, I just see a Twinkie and I think that just looks like the opposite of food. It doesn't really make me hungry for anything. It makes me want to cry.
Yeah, where is the vault? I can't remember. Oh yeah, Mount Richmore.
It's in his head.
Oh yeah, apparently there's a reference to the fact that there's a film that one of these guys is watching that ends with a climax on Mount Rushmore in the film, and then later on the climax ends on Mount Richmore.
Right.
That's not interesting. I didn't put it in the list.
I mean, I just about fell asleep mid you saying that, so yeah.
That's just my very, very droll voice. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Maybe I should get a job as a sleeping aid.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why not? Why not?
Robo Bee.
Release the bee! Not the bee! Ah! You know that thing?
The Wicker Man.
Yeah.
With the amazing actor Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Do you know that scene wasn't actually in the theatrical release of the movie? It was like a deleted scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I've only just
But I've seen the sequence.
Scene.
Exactly, but I think it gets mocked a lot. But I think it wasn't even like a completed scene for the film, and it was on the DVD or something, and everyone mocks him for it. I mean, rightly so.
I don't think you can mock Nicolas Cage. Because for one thing, if you do, I'll come after you. I won't really, that's a lie. And for another thing, his whole career is just him kind of taking the mick out of himself, really, isn't it? Just taking the most ridiculous roles that he can find.
Oh, we should put Face Off in this list of films to watch. That would have been fun.
He could do Face Off at some point. I don't know.
I wonder, what are we doing in terms of when to reveal the trilogy? Do we need to wait for the final minute?
Well, it's up to you, really.
Well,
do you want to reveal it in this?
Well, we did
at all.
Well, maybe not. Should we just have it as a surprise? Other than that, Jonathan Hyde's in it.
Or maybe we should give an incentive to listen to the end.
That's true.
Even though we're pretty near the end anyway. So
yeah, I think we're only about 10 minutes away.
It doesn't really matter. You forget just how short a tight 90 really is.
Ooh. I don't know.
That's what we call them. That's what they call them in the biz.
Ooh.
And a tight 90, if it's an hour and a half,
well,
or just over.
It's 94. So
yeah,
is that a loose 90?
No, it's because, I mean, that 4 minutes will probably be credits.
True. Well, in a 90-minute film, it's probably really only 85 minutes of film anyways.
Yeah. Although I don't know, the credits might be really short. So end credits in this era are often very short. Like,
well, that's because
it's
because you don't have scores and scores of CGI artists. They don't have
I think the rules around having to credit literally every single person involved were a bit lesser in those days.
Oh, so you didn't have to. So you'd have uncredited things more commonly.
I think so. I'm not really sure.
Oh, that was a very bouncy wall.
But yeah, if you ever watch like the credits for like Batman '89, say, you expect them to go on for ages because it's like playing the soundtrack.
Oh, and it fades
stuff.
the song
and
out.
I'm just like, hang on a minute, these credits are like 2 minutes long. What's going on here? And there's no post-credit scene. What
is this a comic book movie?
What era is this?
Oh, it's the 80s.
Oh, they hadn't figured this shit out yet. That's fine.
What have I seen him in before?
Richie Rich? 1994?
Yeah, no, it might be that, yeah. He really looks like James Spader with that haircut. You just need some round glasses. Maybe Daniel Jackson.
Oh, Stargate.
Yeah. I think they're doing a new one of them.
Yeah, well, inevitably. Because why would you make a new thing?
Why did they cancel it in the first place? They should have kept Stargate Universe going.
Stargate Universe was very good. I didn't care much for the other series. Apart from the SG-1, it was fine.
I mean, I enjoyed them all, but Stargate Universe I didn't like initially, but it really grew on me. And then by the time it was cancelled, I was really sad.
Yeah.
But then it's set in a way that they could probably bring it back in 10 years and it'd be fine. Same cast.
They could. I don't know, I think, although it is a kind of a cliffhanger ending, it's still an ending.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I wasn't as.
Oh, here we are into the vault. Look, the superbly over-engineered doors.
Yeah.
Why has it got a secret bookcase at one end? That makes no sense. You put that on the outside, surely.
Unless you want to trap somebody in it.
Fair play.
And they think it's just a normal room, but why would you?
Why do they all open at once then? You'd think you'd have individual controls for each door if it was that kind of mechanism.
Well,
and here we are, look, all the
you're
trinkets.
not a billionaire, so what do you know?
Bet that's an expensive accordion. You get some money for that.
A bronze dog bone would fetch you a few quid.
Yeah, look at all these crazy antique toys and expensive suits and things and medals.
You could make a fucking packet off of this.
Yeah. I mean, it's not gold bars. I get why you're being annoyed at that, but they're priceless, though, to be fair.
And I mean, you could just auction it off. Like, kill off the
where's the money? In the bank. Where else would it be? Like, it's just an investment. Like, we invest our money. We're rich people.
Yeah, I mean, that's very accurate, actually.
Yeah. Why would we have gold bars
and I'm amazed that the chief financial officer of the company doesn't realise that rich people don't actually just have big piles of cash sitting around. It's not really how it works.
Asset rich, cash poor.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, although I bet he still has a grand in him.
But yeah, you could. Fair enough. None of that stuff is particularly valuable right now. But you kill off those two,
is he put blanks
and then
in
you
the gun?
put them on eBay, and you're like, this is, or maybe like a proper auction house or something, and be like, these are the artifacts of the recently deceased rich billionaires.
Bulletproof. That worked.
Yeah, surprisingly well. He doesn't even seem to have had any like cracked ribs or anything.
Oh yeah, he'd be absolutely destroyed.
Like he just stood there and took it. He should have just gone flying back.
I mean, no, bullets don't have that much force. It would have.
Well,
he got knocked him a bit, but
yeah, he got shot several times.
That was like a fucking 45 revolver.
Yeah, you get shot at that range. It's like basically getting punched in the chest.
In the doors? Oh no, close
like 4 or 5 times. You would be out. Oh no, my coattails! Ah!
Oh, they're hanging out the ear or something. Yeah, the nose or something. I thought it was going to be. God, he's had a pretty rough time of it, hasn't he?
Yeah, well.
What's your face, mate? Jesus.
Serves him right for being a baddie.
Yeah. Baddies never learn.
Not in movies like this, no.
No. Do they in real life?
Occasionally. Very rarely. And mostly they don't do it very well
I
either.
haven't encountered many supervillains in my time.
I've encountered a fair few.
You have?
Yes.
Would they like this man? Sort of slimy,
Yeah,
rich
mostly.
and slimy.
Yeah, the ineffectual, relied too heavily on goons, minions.
Oh, don't mention Minions. That's the worst thing that's happened to cinema in a decade or more.
I mean, if you say so, I just kind of ignore them and it's fine.
They're everywhere.
Not if you don't go looking for them.
The technology in this film, when are we going to get laser cannons like this?
They already exist. Laser weapons are a thing.
But, are they as effective as this? And do you get to see a cool orange beam, like a phaser, when you fire it?
No, because that's not really how lasers work.
But that's why I want laser ones like this that look like you get a cool beam.
Well, yeah.
I want a phaser that goes... and you can go... the stun or kill or anything in between.
Phasers. I would rather have a blaster myself.
Really?
Yeah. Phasers are they're too...
But they're slow enough to, dodge with a lightsaber.
But you can do, your Han Solo loose grip thing.
Imagine
cool.
this, right? You've got your Star Wars, you've got, a Jedi versus any member of Starfleet with a phaser.
Mm-hmm.
They start firing, they block it, and then you just, move your hand around a bit and just slice them up a bit. You just have to go... It's like a long-distance lightsaber. You just slice them to pieces.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Whereas with the blaster, you're like... Pew! Pew!
Yeah.
And then Darth Vader will just catch the bullet and pull your gun in.
Yeah.
Whereas if I've just sliced his arm off with a swipe of a phaser before he gets a chance.
It's boring.
It's boring but effective. Oh.
Yeah, well, I'm not interested in what's effective. I'm interested in what looks cool.
This is quite the set piece here.
Yes, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm actually about as far back in this seat as I can be.
Yeah, it's a bit of a slidey one. If you go far forward, you'll fall off.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he's got magic sticks to fight with. What the hell is that? Oh,
spatula. The ultimate weapon. Actually, probably pretty good against a knife if you know what you're doing.
Well, yeah, it's longer. Anything.
And you could catch the blade in the.
Oh, that'd be good.
In the gaps. And
give it a twist, pop it out the end.
Break the blade off. Slap them in the face.
You're choreographing a great fight there. I'm visualising it quite well.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm sure it's been done before, but anyway.
Babe, I'm going to put you in my mouth. I think he said something
phrasing.
Like that. And she was like, yeah, it's big enough. Do you think that was a joke for the adults as well, or was that just me?
I think that was just a joke. Just a pretty standard joke.
I thought maybe I was overthinking things.
Oh no, Cadbury. Uh-oh.
Danger overload. Why have an overload option?
In case you need to super laser something.
You see how he's swiping that? That's what I'm saying. You use that like a phaser in Star Trek. You wipe it right the way past Darth Vader.
Yeah.
You take out his shoulder and his breathing
the thing
equipment.
is,
He can't breathe.
The thing is, you get beam weapons in Star Wars.
Why do they use them?
Because they're mostly ship-based weapons. Although I think you get some...
That looks like the blooming proton packs.
Yeah, it does.
On overload mode. Is he about to rip her head off? Yep.
Now, what's the betting? We can't hear this because we've got the sound down. What is the betting? There was a little Tweety bird noise as he got knocked in the head there. And he fell over. I bet there was.
Maybe we should go back and check when we finish watching.
Nah, I don't care that much.
Then we will discuss it no more. That's a pretty good composite shot.
That cable wasn't there before.
It wasn't?
Yeah, wasn't there when he was falling down. How did he get caught in it? This makes no sense.
I like the way you can see the plaster marks of how they've made
the
wooden backdrop look like stone.
Yeah. It's
the
reasonably effective.
Yeah. I have to say the set design and everything's been all pretty high standard in this.
Yeah, well, it's all
bad.
just...
For
It's
the
all just
90s and what it is, you know.
apart from this bit, it's all just fancy rooms, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like the bad guy's office with the big triangle window and the transport tycoon emblems on the walls.
And here we have to round off. He's playing with his friends. And he's bought them all fancy
because it's
clothes.
well, actually, I was going to say it's not a 90s movie if they don't bring back the thing they do at the start, but they're supposed to bring it back in such a way as
to show growth.
that and to like solve the problem. So really,
so baseball should have been used.
That's why this is not such a good movie, because he should be using his baseball skills and the friends that he made along the way to win. Now he did the whole
use
friends
thing.
thing.
Oh look, they're prison inmates now. Classic.
Are they prison inmates or are they?
They've got inmate numbers on them.
Indentured servants.
Department of Corrections.
You wouldn't let them near this place though, would you?
That was weird.
Are they doing like community service, but specifically for this one family? That's a bit weird.
The family are probably rich enough to be like, look, we feel bad for them. At least
they
kissed.
Come
and watch Richie's. The butler.
Yeah,
I missed it.
He did a big smooch on the lady.
Well, they have to have some romance. They can't have the 10-year-old kid being the romantic.
I wasn't suggesting that. Fucking hell.
No, that's how they have to do films, isn't it? Because you can't have a film without romance. Heaven forbid.
You can, and often.
No, I mean I agree.
Better for it. Like Edge of Tomorrow, for example, is one that springs to mind, where they could quite easily have thrown in a romantic subplot, but they didn't, and it's a good movie and much better.
And that was the end of that movie. That was an abrupt.
That just went flying by. It feels like it has only just begun.
And wasn't
there
that
we
exciting?
go.
So there we are. Oh yeah, aerobics instructor Claudia Schiffer.
There we go.
Jonathan Hyde will feature in our next film, which will be the start.
In fact, indeed, our next. Well, actually, is he in all three of them?
No.
Okay, just the first one.
He is in the first film. I believe just the first one. I'm so excited. The Mummy Trilogy!
The Mummy Trilogy!
The Mummy Trilogy!
The Mummy Trilogy!
The Mummy, everybody!
The Mummy!
We've gone from Lost in Space to The Mummy.
We
I did it!
Well, not yet. We haven't recorded them yet, but, you know.
No, but the links
we're nearly there.
But the tangential, nonsensical, gimmicky plot device is there. Yay!
It works almost.
So let us all be very excited for that.
So yeah, that'll be fun. So yeah, look out for that in the near future. And in the meantime, we're done.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.